Vaclav Cerny had a successful season on loan at Rangers, but it doesn't look like Rangers will be successful in bringing him back to the club as we now have a new transfer fee revealed. Welcome back, guys, to Fog Football. Cerny, good season at loan on Rangers. It was reported that it would cost approximately $5.5 million to bring him back to the club on a permanent basis. I think a lot of Rangers fans would be interested in seeing Cerny come back to the club. However, the problem is $5.5 million, that doesn't look to be the value anymore. We actually have Trabzonspor who have came out with a £9 million bid as they've made Cerny their #1 transfer target for the season. And that pretty much means that Rangers are now going to have to get into a bidding war if they want the Czech man to come back. And I just don't see it happening.
I don't think Rangers are well equipped to go to war with Trabzonspor anymore. I mean, despite a takeover imminent, apparently I'm hearing 48 hours and that coming in. But then there's question marks about that. If there's a lot of money with the 49ers, is 9 million, can they not do that? But then, as pointed out before, we don't know who the manager's going to be. Will Ancelotti want to spend 9 million on Cerny? Will Gerrard? Will Russell Martin? Will whoever? Stephen Robinson? I don't know. Whoever's going to get this job. I mean...
And that's the problem, because as good as Cerny was last season, Gerrard wasn't there last season, Ancelotti wasn't there last season, Russell Martin wasn't there last season, so the two managers that were there last season, Clement and Ferguson, they're not going to be there. So the two guys have the first-hand experience with Cerny. They're not going to be in the Rangers hot seat. So it lessens the chance of Cerny coming back. You get a new manager coming in. Will he want to spend $9 million of his, and it could be more, let's be honest, that's Trabzonspor offering $9 million, but if two clubs are interested, then there's definitely a chance that the value goes up due to the clubs bidding against each other. Will a new manager want to take a huge dent of his transfer kitty and spend it on Cerny when he's not been in charge of Cerny, he's not managed Cerny? Yes, Cerny had a good season at Rangers, and we'll talk about the statistics in a minute, but I just think it's unlikely that we get a new manager coming in and he is just going to spend a large portion of his transfer kitty based on what Cerny did at Rangers last season without him. I just think that's unlikely. And I think if Cerny was going to stay at Rangers, you know, he probably would have had the deal made while he was there during the loan period. And you could argue that maybe Cerny's loan period was too good. You know, maybe he performed too well. Maybe his stats were too good, and that is why Rangers haven't been able to secure him. And now you've got interest for other clubs that has driven the price upwards. So.
Yeah, it's upwards. Yeah, I mean, you could look at Raskin. But then, say Raskin goes right for like 12, 15 million. Are you really happy with spending pretty much all the Raskin money on Cerny just to sign a guy that was with Raskin last year? You know, it's how you weigh it up, man. It's like, I think if you're willing to let like guys like Hadji leave on a free, then I think you're kind of just willing to let Cerny say bye-bye for 9 million. And it's like, you know what, we can't sign you. We'll try and do a better. I mean, there's loads of frees in the Scottish Championship. I believe Danny Armstrong's out of contract, isn't he?
Yeah, that's the worst thing, though, with loans. And we've seen that with Rangers over the years. They've had some good loan players. You had Seema, you had Tillman, and it helped you that season for sure. But you get into this predicament at the end of the season where you have to spend a lot of money just to stop your team from getting weaker.
Yep.
Like with Seema, he was great and he scored a lot of goals, and the rumoured amount was about £8 million, I believe. And by the time, it's good having the guy on loan for the season, but by the time you get to the end of the season, you've got a dilemma where you need to spend £8 million before you even start improving the team. You need to spend £8 million to stop your team from getting weaker.
Yeah, I know, you're right, that is a problem. And another problem is the fact that with Cerny, you've got a team that's finished second, won no trophies. That goes against Cerny. That makes people think, well, how crucial is he? He didn't win anything. He didn't help them. Even though it's not all his fault and the team is shite, that's hands up.
It's a bit unlucky for Rangers as well. I mean, they brought in Cortez with the loan to buy. They brought in Barami with the loan to buy, and I bet they're just cursing themselves that they never brought in Cerny.
With the loan to buy. But do you not agree that if you sign a loan player, right, and they lead you to like a cup or a league, you're going to be way more likely to re-sign them.
Yeah, but we can't blame. It's not
No,
Tierney. You know what I mean?
I'm
Tierney's.
not blaming Tierney though. I think that's just the facts.
How good would Tierney have had to have been for Rangers to win the league title? I mean, you would have had to have had like one of the best seasons we've ever seen in Scottish football
No, I
to
totally
carry
agree.
this Rangers
But
team. So
I think it's similar to like when Celtic signed Jota and Carter Vickers on loan in Ange's first year. I think if Rangers go on to win the league,
they probably don't pay the money for them.
yeah, I've honestly, and we can. I know we can debate. Well, that's because of Champions League football and things like that. I'm not convinced. I feel like loan players, especially here, and in between the old firm, I feel like they're only as valued as good as their trophy count. And Tierney's is sitting at 0. And I think people do think about that, as harsh as it is.
Is that something that only applies to the top two then?
Well, that's what I think. Yeah, I think so.
So Kabanga must have been shite then because he joined Hearts and finished bottom 6. So why'd Hearts sign him for a permanent deal?
But like I say,
I disagree.
I think it only applies to the top two.
Well, I mean, it must apply to some logic. Kabanga was on Hearts at loan and they finished bottom 6, so he must be shite.
Oh, that's Neil Critchley. There's other factors at play there.
Well, I don't agree with your factors.
I bet you if Tierney helped Rangers win the league or the Scottish Cup, the people will be more likely to get him signed up. Even last year with Seema, people were way more adamant to sign Seema up than Tierney due to the fact that he actually, he'd won a League Cup and the title fight kind of got a wee bit close and then collapsed all of a sudden.
Well, I mean, I disagree.
It's like Shane Duffy and Laxalt, right? I actually don't think that Laxalt guy had that bad of a season during 55. But because he was associated with a fucking collapse, they can't want him.
Well, Shane Duffy had a bad season. You can't defend him.
No, well, yeah, Shane Duffy's a Rangers legend, right? Don't take it away from him. But you see where I'm coming from, though?
I do, but I disagree. I do disagree. To me, Jota and Carter Vickers are still worth £7 million if Celtic finish second in Ange's first season.
No, but it's like last season, right? See Adam Adair. We think he's shite, but see in the 23-24 season, he had a 6-month loan at Celtic and scored crucial goals that helped them lift a Scottish Cup and a league. If he doesn't do that, is he fucked getting signed?
So yeah, so what you're saying is if Rangers don't collapse, if Rangers win the league last year and Butland doesn't hand Adam Adair a goal and a silver platter, then Celtic don't spend £9.5 million on him?
Yeah.
Right, okay, fair enough. I agree to an extent, but to me, Tierney was good and he delivered. We'll talk about stats right now, but I think he's worth the money, regardless of not whether he had teammates that were good enough to help him win a league. I can't blame Tierney for Rangers not winning the league. He was one of the few players that I think did enough to be in a title winning
Helped
team.
him get second.
Well, he did, and he helped them in Europe as well. Anyway, he had 27 goal contributions in the 52 games total. So he was that's more. That's like every 2 games he's at least contributing to a goal, which is a pretty good return.
Yep.
For a winger.
Minutes per goal in the league, 196. That's pretty good considering he's not a striker.
Yeah, no, that's just over 2 games.
Europa League though, 155. That's brilliant.
Those you can't really complain with those stats. 11 goals in the league, 6 goals in Europe. 12 goals in the league as well because he got one in the post split. So, yeah, no, those European goals as well certainly helped.
No, they did, and apart from
and that's proven that proves that he can do it against decent European sides and not just in the Scottish Premiership.
And he's Rangers' second top goal scorer. So they're going to miss that. There's no two ways about it. Yeah, of course you're going to miss that. I don't know what Igamani got, but I think Igamani's
Would you put him in a team of the season? Would he be in a Scottish Premiership team of the season?
I think he would be. Aye. Well, no, I don't know. I think my front 3 would be Maida, Kuhn, Simon Murray.
Kuhn's been crap for a while though.
He has been, but I think Kuhn at his peak. Well, I don't think I know. Kuhn this season was better than Tierney at his peak.
I think Tierney's been more consistent.
He has been, but people will say he won a double, didn't they?
And people will say that Tierney never had a 2-month period where he's worth £40 million either. So I guess you got to factor that in. I'd say Tierney's worth a spot on the bench.
Yeah.
Of a Premiership team this season.
Aye, absolutely.
I mean, it's worth a spot on the bench.
If you wanted to fuck Simon Murray out and play Maida through the middle and then put Tierney in, then I think we could come to that arrangement as well.
You could do that, but Trabzonspor, they like the Rangers players. They've already got John Lundstrom, they've got Borna Barisic. Now they're looking to add another one with Tierney. Wolfsburg have made it clear that they are trying to get as much funds as possible and that Tierney is not part of their plans. So Wolfsburg definitely want to sell. I don't think there's another loan option here. Tierney will permanently be leaving Wolfsburg this season, and unless Rangers can, get £9 million for somewhere, it doesn't look like he will be joining them. Trabzonspor manager Fateh Teki has identified Tierney as his number one target, and yeah, it's not a good look into it. I mean, this guy's identified Tierney as his number one target, whereas Rangers are undecided on whether they want Tierney or not. So, I mean, just
But
based off that alone,
but not the bad
I
thing
don't
is.
see how Rangers get the
No,
guy.
you're right, but not the bad thing is for Rangers. Forget about Tierney. Who have Rangers identified? Rangers can't even identify a manager yet. You know what I mean? You need to get a manager and a takeover in place before you start worrying about transfers.
I agree.
Apart from Lyle Cameron, that's it.
Right, that's it. Probably need to get the manager in first, and then I think the players will follow. Anyway, guys, that's it. £9 million for Tierney. I think that's a fair amount. I just don't see Rangers paying it. So,
No, never.
Especially while they've got no manager in place as well. By the time Rangers appoint a manager, Tierney could already be a Trabzonspor player. So
He could be.
we'll have
sadly.
to wait. We have to wait and see. Anyway, guys, that's it. Till next time, let us know your thoughts. Is he worth £9 million? If you're a Rangers fan, would you pay the £9 million? Hell, if you're a Celtic fan, would you be interested in Celtic bringing him in for £9 million? Let us know in the comments, and we'll catch you in the next one. Until then, peace.